All right, folks, we're not going to bore you with all the details, but we got a little ways to go. The thrash is on. This baby's going to be running today, so stand by for the light off after a couple real quick updates. We got the cylinders all cleaned up. Got a used cylinder from the flea bay, pretty good shape. Very, very little, barely noticeable ridge. It actually matches the other three about right. Obviously this one's got new rings in it. And cylinders are cleaned up pretty good. They'll be all right. If you notice these cracks right here, my understanding is this is not uncommon with these. I don't know if it's just the smaller Allis Chalmers or what the deal is, but the head gasket will seal this, and this ring right here is part of the wet sleeve, and it has a fire ring on the head gasket, so slap them together, doesn't hurt a thing. Bottom end, you can see up in there is all torqued up. The one rod has been clearanced. They got little shims. And wasn't too sure about those shims because they're pretty hammered. I made some out of a Miller Lite can. That's right. All right, cylinder head is on as you saw before. Got my 2 replacement valve springs taken care of. They came in today. She's full of coolant. It's been sitting here for an hour with the drain plug out of the pan. I don't want to see any coolant come out of there. Make sure that those O-rings on the lower part of that wet sleeve sealed. And it appears to be fine. So back to the cylinder head. Milling 120 thousandths off that head will drop your shaft rockers and your rocker stands down on here. Screw up the geometry. So whipped up some little shims at work. These are 1/8 inch, 125 thousandths. That will put the rocker stands back where they belong and keep this geometry the same. Those will just drop on here like so, on down through. Allis oiling system. Your oil pump is on the back of the block. It feeds your, to my knowledge, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong because I'm not an Allis Chalmers expert. This is my first one. But the pump feeds passages in the block like an automotive situation would be. Feeds your cam bearings, feeds your main bearings. The camshaft is hollow. Oil is pumped through the center of the camshaft, which has holes in it that line up with the connecting rod big ends, and it is a splash lube basically for the rods. No sense of messing with it. Doesn't make any sense to me, but these things have ran for almost a century out there like that, so we're not going to mess with it. Your oil line comes in, feeds this filter, okay? There's a T right here that feeds your top end. You can see the little slot in that bolt that feeds your rocker shafts. This feeds your governor assembly. This filter, oil comes up into that filter, and when it goes out of the filter, it drains right back into the block. It is basically it's filtering an oil leak is all it's doing. This is not a full flow setup. Again, but these things been this way almost a century. I'm not messing with it. All right, let's keep rolling on this thing. Fire in the hole. That's a wrap. Ain't nothing better than lighting one off for the first time, is there? Captain out till next time.